What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm out here in the shop this morning. I picked up something the other day at Tractor Supply. I've been meaning to see if they had these on Amazon. I can't never think about it. And I happened to be in Tractor Supply picking up some other stuff, and I walked by it, I seen this, probably overpaid for it. It's like 50 bucks, a little over. The time I put tax on it, it's probably 55 or maybe even closer to 60, I'm not even sure. But it's 50 something dollars plus tax. And I've got some grease alamites on my tractor loader here behind me. There's 3 of them that I cannot grease. I have not been able to grease them since I got the tractor because the previous owner never greased it and it's got slack in the pins. And 3 of the joints, or alamites 1, are stopped up and will not take grease. So the idea here is, this thing here, you're supposed to be able to put oil in it. A light oil is what it says. I don't know if you can see that on the back of there. Getting a glare. There we go. Maybe you can see that. But you're supposed to be able to put a light oil in it and strike it with a hammer, and it's supposed to inject that into the alamite and free up the joint. So I've never used one of these. It's good to see it. It's made in USA. But we're going to take this out of the package, and I'm going to show you the joints over there. I've got to figure out which joints it is that won't take grease. I know there's 3 of them, I remember that, but I don't remember which ones it was. So we're going to put the grease gun on there and see. That grease gun pushes out about 10 to 12,000 psi, and it won't put grease in them. So evidently this thing here must be double or triple that. I'm not sure. But we're going to find out, set you guys up over here. We're going to try this thing out and see how it works, if we can remedy the problem where we can get some grease in the loader. Alright guys, so I think the first joint that won't take grease is this one right here. A lot of these have the alamite in the outside of them. It does on some of those fittings, but this one here is actually in the end. It's kind of a pain to get to up in these hoses. I use this lock and lube. This is extended lock and lube. If I can find the link on Amazon, I will put it in the description. But use that, and I use this Lincoln 20-volt grease gun. It's got the meter on the top of it. I might link this in the description too if I can find it. I don't remember. It's been a while since I bought it. Not had any problems out of it. The only thing I don't like is the batteries are not compatible with anything else that I own. So that's the only downside to it. I mainly bought it because it had the meter on the front, and I could see how much grease that I was putting in the joint or whatever. So let's step up here and figure out where the alamite is. I really like that lock and lube there. It stays on there. I've got this in low. I don't know if you can see that. It's showing 1.1 ounce. 1.2, 1.3, and that is it. That's all it'll take. So I knew that was one of the ones that was clogged up. You see the mess there. I don't think very much, if any, went in there. So we're going to open this thing up here, and then we will put some oil in it and see how she works. Alright guys, here's the tool here. You pull this piston out right here, and you put some light oil on top of it. It says use a non-aerosol light penetrating oil. I use some PB Blaster. PB Blaster is the same whether it's in an aerosol can or whether it's in a 1-gallon jug or WD-40 or something like that. I figure it would be fine. Anyway, you pull this up out of here. I'll show you a little more in a minute after I figure out how to use it. But I put a little bit in here. Then it says you turn it upside down like this and kind of gently tap it, and that will make the air come out of here, get the air out of it, so that you're strictly pushing the fluid in there. And it comes with a couple of these fittings here and a little extension hose. When you're using something like this or a grease gun, you always got to be cautious of hydraulic injection, because you could possibly inject fluid into your skin, and cause some significant damage there and be going to the hospital, or even death in extreme cases, loss of fingers or arms, whatever the case. I always got to be mindful of that, messing with hydraulic hoses, diesel injection lines, or anything that's under high pressure, pressure washers, anything that could inject into your skin. So I'm just going to use this PB Blaster here. I can get it to go down in there. Stuff foams so bad. Anyway, turn it upside down. So let's do that, make sure you get the air out of it. It's nothing but liquid coming out. Get it back on in here. Hopefully you can see this okay. Okay. We did in fact get some oil in there. So let's see if it'll take any grease now. See my eye mark. There we are. Locked on there now. Still doesn't want to take grease. Let me find me a rag over here because this is making a mess. So the idea is every time you hit it, it's supposed to force just a little bit of this in there and unclog the joint. I think that might got the air out of it. Sounds good on paper anyway. We'll find out if it actually works here for a while. Alright, so we got oil coming out somewhere there. I don't know if it's around the fitting or if it's actually out of the joint somewhere. Let's see if we can take grease now. Still not taking grease like it should. think that came out the fitting. Alright guys, I'm going to try this with some PAG 100. I had just a little bit of this. This is for air conditioning service. What goes in the air conditioning system. Just a little bit in here. So I thought I'd try that just to have something else to see if it works any better than the PB blaster. It's a little bit thicker, but it's not, you know, overly thick. Ooh. I got the air out of it and rained oil all over the place. It went everywhere. I'm gonna get a little bigger hammer. It shows on the packages of them tapping with a little claw hammer, but I was trying a 2-pound brass hammer, move up to a 4-pound sledgehammer. Let's see. I think that it's coming out around the Allemite is all it's doing. I don't think I'm accomplishing very much. Let's see if I can get to take grease now. I'm guessing that's a no. Guys, that one ain't taking no grease. I'm gonna move on and try to find the next one. I think it was down here somewhere. Don't quite remember which one. Maybe this one here. It looks like it don't have grease around it. That would be the next one. So, try it right there. Maybe I can get a little better angle swing on that. See how she does. So far, hasn't done very well. Overfilled it a little bit. Piston back down in there. Hold it up this direction. Push the air out. Man, that makes a mess. I should be outside doing that. Oh no. All right, so we've got fitting number 2. One other successful. I think it's all just coming out of the alamite there. Alright guys, here's another picture of the overall kit. You got this little hose if you need to get in a tighter spot here, another end for the hose. You unscrew this here, screw it on here, so you got a little flexible hose, and then this goes on that end there in case you need to get around a bend or whatever, and you can hold it and kind of tap this. I don't see anything wrong with this company as far as the quality of the product, but the actual product design itself doesn't seem to be very effective for, at least in my application. I could see where if you had a hand pump grease gun and you couldn't get grease to go in, this may be a better option. But I'm kind of thinking with the pressure that the electric grease guns nowadays put out, that maybe this here, if the electric grease gun won't put grease in it, this here may or may not do any good for you. It hasn't done any good for me. I've tried 2 of the 3. I ain't even gonna bother with the 3rd one right now. I think what I'm gonna wind up doing at some point in time is probably pulling the pins out and getting the gunk cleaned out of there. May have to put a little heat on it. I could probably heat that one and help it. That one up there where the hydraulic hoses are at, obviously you can't put any heat there. So, you know, it is what it is. But I thought for $50-something, this was worth a shot. You know, if I could get the things cleaned out in 10 or 15 minutes, it would be worth the $50-something spent to do so. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But maybe I will find another use for this in the future. And maybe I'll have an alamite that's too stopped up for the grease gun, but that this will clear out. But so far, that does not seem to be the case with them right there. I don't know if I may get any better result if I pick the loader up and move it around at the same time, you know, use this and try to move the loader and mess with it, but that's getting into more time than I want to mess with today. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I will put a link in the description if I can find one for anybody that might be interested in trying this. As I say, I haven't had much luck with it. That doesn't mean it doesn't work, just mean it didn't work for me. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.